Welcome on to today's live event. I'm your host, Colin Driscoll. My role is a senior growth manager at Under. Today, we got a lot of feedback on our templates. If you're not familiar with Under and our templates, essentially, they are applications or forms that are ready to go and be used directly from our marketplace. So specifically, let's just say you want a pre-application embedded on your website. Well, you can create an Under account for free. You can log in and grab a pre-app, take that and embed that on your site with your own branding in just a matter of minutes. We have templates from lead gen forms, pre-apps, different custodial forms like W-9s, W-2s, 1099 agreements, things like that. We have lease agreements in our marketplace. For today, though, we've got a lot of questions about our merchant processing application template, MPAs. What that really looks like is if you're signing up for a payment processing account, this is the paperwork that you as a business owner, as a merchant, you need to sign in order to set up an agreement with that processing company. Specifically today, we're going to be digging into TSYS, which is one of the biggest and most commonly used processors in the space. And as a result is actually our most commonly used template within our marketplace. We've got a lot of payments organizations, payments ISOs, wholesale ISOs, agents using our system. And as a result, that TSYS MPA is one of the most commonly used. To quickly, again, talk about how you can use it, you can create an Under account for free. You can go into our marketplace. You can grab that TSYS template. All you really need to do from there is add your branding, add your pricing, any other fields that you want to change, and go ahead and send it to your customers. Once your customers fill that out, then you've got a fully mapped TSYS MPA with all the documents, the data, and the electronic signature, all that in a matter of minutes from Under. So for today's live event, that was the topic that our customers and partners wanted to dig into. And so that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about what the TSYS template does for you and how you can go ahead and use that within the Under platform. First, starting with the basics, obviously TSYS is Total System Services. It's just a leading payment processing company in the space. So if you as an ISO or an agent want to board mids through them, you're going to be very familiar with this MPA process. You can obviously get them from TSYS. You can get them from an onboarding platform like Under, but essentially it's the paperwork that you need from the business owner to go ahead and set up that agreement with. It's got merchant processing language. It's got issuing processing language. It's got gateway services. It's got any equipment, all those different things. It's the backbone of how you set up that account with TSYS. Typically, traditionally, there are a few challenges in the way that MPAs have been completed. Obviously, these are constantly changing and each processor is a little bit different, but in some cases, it can be a cumbersome process. In a lot of cases, it actually is paper-based as well. So there's agents who are using paper applications and paper MPAs out in the field to set up that business for merchant processing. You can understand the potential human error, the potential time involved with a paper application to go ahead and get that set up. In other cases, companies or ISOs are using third-party tools like a DocuSign or a form builder to go ahead and collect that data, copy paste it onto the TSYS MPA, resend it to the business owner, collect the documents separately. So traditionally, there's been a segmented or duct tape process to go ahead and get these MPAs submitted to underwriting at that processor. And that's really why we built Under. We wanted to create a way for all of these things to be done digitally and reducing human error, reducing time, and overall just making a better experience for not only your sales staff, but also for that end customer or that end business owner. So that's how we simplify the process of MPAs. We streamline that process from A to Z. We give you customizable templates. We map all that data onto a document should you need it. We create one spot for the business owner to fill out that application with you. And on your sales teams or your operations team end, it's one spot to view all the data, the documents, the e-signatures, and the PDF for that individual customer record. So think about it as just a simplified way to collect that data and move that process along. I'm actually going to go ahead and share my screen today for this live event and talk about the TSYS MPA. I want to show all you how we can go ahead and get you set up for that. So let me just give me 1 second here and I will go ahead and share the screen. This is what it's going to look like when you create your Under account. If you're a current customer of Under, you're very familiar with this interface. If you're not, this is what it looks like. Where I landed first is the marketplace. So when you create your Under account, you're going to get into our templates marketplace. Our system is designed to live out of templates. And the template marketplace is, again, a way for you to easily pull down any template that we have out of the box and send to your customers in minutes. Again, since TSYS is our most commonly used template. I'm going to stick to that for this individual call. But let's just say, for example, I wanted to use this TSYS MPA template right here. I'm going to simply create a copy of that. I'm going to duplicate it. And now it's going to go from the marketplace templates into my individual templates. To find that, I'm just going to go to my templates, or I can obviously share that with my company as well. Once you, or if you give the template to a part where you want to do that. And so you can see, I just created this new TSYS template. Again, in 20 seconds, I've now got a TSYS application fully mapped onto PDF at my fingertips. This is what the application builder itself looks like. This is where you could come in and customize any of this. Let's just say, for example, you wanted to make this field, in this case, the home address, not required. You'd simply click on that field, make it not required. What you're looking at here is a pretty basic form builder. If you've used Ninja Form, Jot Form, Form Stack, even DocuSign templates, this user interface is going to look pretty familiar to you. This is how we built it out on the underside of things. But again, maybe the most important piece of the template for TSYS in particular is actually on the PDF. If you've ever mapped a PDF yourself, it can be a bit of a cumbersome process. At Under, we take all that on for you. So now you have the ability to scroll through the PDF and see all the different fields that you're collecting from your customers are going to be instantly mapped onto that TSYS PDF. You can see that includes pricing, personal data like social security, date of birth, stored securely, of course, signatures, all the different things that you may need are going to be on this PDF. So the value here is, again, this is taking me 45 seconds, 1 minute. In a matter of a minute, you now have a TSYS MPA with a fully mapped PDF at your disposal. I can now go ahead and send this to my customers using the share function here as one easy way to do it. I could just email them this application. Once they fill it out, I've now got a TSYS PDF fully mapped, ready to roll that I can take to TSYS. So again, that's the value of the templates in our system. Some other things you can do with it, obviously, you can create things like conditional logic on your application. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to add some conditional logic to the home address. You could do that here. You have the ability to add labels or placeholders. You could always drag and drop additional fields here by just simply dragging and dropping. Again, if you've used a form builder, it's going to look very familiar for you, but I wanted to take a second to highlight the TSYS MPA here in our system. We had a few questions from customers that I'll transition into here. How does TSYS compare to other payment processors in terms of fees and services? If you're in the payment space, this question is a bit hard to answer just because ultimately you are becoming a partner of TSYS and creating your own fees and services with them through what's called a Schedule A. So you'll want to just be aware that you have the ability to negotiate some of these things like buy rates and per transaction costs and annual fees or monthly fees. So in terms of fees for TSYS compared to other processors, it is one of the most popular processors in the space. So I'm assuming that it's going to be competitive in that regard. But again, that's going to be pretty customizable to you and to your ISO. Can you explain how Under, let's see, how long does it take to typically onboard a new merchant using Under? That's the main point of these templates, right? So if you are, again, using, I'm going to stop sharing my screen to move to these Q&A. How long does it typically take to onboard a new merchant using Under? Like I just went through in about 90 seconds, if you're using one of our templates, you could realistically create this, add your logo, add your price, send it to your customer, and have them fill it out in as little as 10 minutes, depending on if you're readily available and if they're readily available with all the data and documents that they're going to need. Historically, again, traditionally, that would be something like ISO has a custom built pre-app through some third party or through the website. Maybe they send to customer, fills out, ISO receives, collects the data, copy paste into TSYS, collects the document via a separate email, copy paste into TSYS, sends for e-signature via TSYS, customer receives, gets back, ISO validates information, then moves to underwriting. Some of these processes can take days, or if it's physical paper apps, we're longer than that at this point in some cases as well. So it does depend on how your ISO is set up and your process to onboard these mids and collect this customer data. But ultimately, one of the biggest pieces of value that Under has is that time saving aspect for not only your sales team, not only for the customer, but also for your operations team that actually is handling these application packages. What kind of businesses can benefit most from digitizing their MPAs? We really are focused on ISOs for this particular template. Again, we have custodial forms, lead gen forms, tax forms, lease agreements, stuff like that in our marketplace. But for this specific live event, we're talking about a merchant processing MPA, in this case, TSYS. And so who's going to benefit from that really is ISOs. If you are a partner or an ISO of TSYS, then our product is really designed for you. Are there any additional tools or integrations that work well with Under? Yeah, I didn't get into any of the identity validation tools that Under offers, but we do have that embedded as well. So not only can you use our system to collect the full application package with the PDF, with docs, and with signatures, you can also validate that data. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to quickly run a know your customer, a KYC check on that individual customer. You can now validate that this person is who they say they are, the date of birth matches, the address matches, the social security matches. That's going to make your relationship with TSYS look better because you're only sending them quality leads. So we've got all those identity validation tools embedded in our platform, and we've done live events about that suite of tools before. You can go ahead and find that at our website, in our university, on our LinkedIn page, or obviously you can get in contact with us if you're looking to learn more about that as well. But in terms of tools, we've got a lot embedded in the platform itself. And then integrations, we integrate directly with CRMs. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to collect the data in Under and move that to your Salesforce account or your Pipedrive account, so your sales team can go ahead and work that deal. You can pass that data from Under directly into your CRM. It looks like that was the last question I had. So I appreciate everybody jumping on today and sending some questions beforehand. We're going to go ahead and you'll have this recording in your email in about an hour or two. So if you've got any questions, reach out to me, reach out to us, check out our documents, check out our university. But appreciate the topic today of a TSYS merchant processing application. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.